Hello, welcome Nicolas.
Hello.
Welcome on this stage. Welcome on PODIUM.
Thank you.
So, you are the global head of private markets with Indus Wealth Management. You've been very active for quite a while when it comes to
Private markets.
private
Yeah,
markets,
absolutely.
yes, and especially secondary market, the secondary market.
And we created this business in Switzerland.
Absolutely. So, how does it look like this secondary market? What are for instance, the main transactions, the main deals we can find on it?
Yeah, maybe let me explain just in 30 seconds what is the secondary market. We heard a very interesting panel by EQT on Evergreen. The reality is that the market is still made of closed-ended funds. So closed-ended fund means you have a constraint where you do not have liquidity. The only way to have liquidity is to wait the 10, 12 more years that you indicated. So if you want to sell at some point as an investor into a private equity, a private debt, a private infrastructure, or a private equity real estate fund, you don't really have the option. The only way is to sell your portfolio on the secondary market. So in a nutshell, to make it easy, secondary market is a kind of marketplace where some existing investor in private equity closed-ended funds are selling to some buyers. That can be another type of investor, and really a good way to then it became over time really a mainstream market segment where you have different type of strategies. You can buy very diversified portfolio and very large portfolio of deals. So you have some more concentrated GP-led of these. So it became over time really a more specialized market that really evolved over time. When I started my career in private market 20 years ago, it was a 6 billion annual volume. Today, it has been multiplied by more than 15. So yeah, very interesting market and really strategic for us. When we build up portfolio private market for client at Indus Suez, it's really one of the key segments, in particular for investors that want to kickstart and to start a private equity allocation, because it's a way to buy some funds on the secondary market that are already invested. So you get already some capital at work much faster and some exit in the near term.
So, this is true. The size of the market has more than doubled in the past 5 years.
Yes.
It is now approaching $170 billion on an annual basis. How do you explain this spectacular rise?
I would say different factors. The first one is just the correlation with the private market as an asset class. Today, private market is 15 trillion of assets under management. So it really grew over time. I mean, 25 years ago, it was only an institutional market. Today, it has evolved across many types of investors. At the end of Suez, it became really a mainstream segment of allocation for all types of investors. So the market has been growing. So given secondary is a kind of second-hand market, it's just correlated, and it has been really growing from 10 billion to 150 billion. The second factor is the fact that investors are not shy anymore. I mean, 15 years ago, there was some hesitation from investors to sell some of their exposure on the secondary market. It's not anymore the case. It's really being used today as a tool, to sell part of your portfolio, to arbitrate some of your asset manager in portfolio. Take the example of Indus Suez. We have today in portfolio 500 funds. I mean, at some point, if you need to do some arbitrage, if you need to sell some of your exposure, it's really a great way to use the secondary market as a seller or as a buyer. On our side, we do both, and it's very efficient today.
In terms of structure, in terms of profile of the players and nature of the offering, how have you seen this market evolve over the last few years?
Yeah, of course, we all know the very large and established players like the Ardian, the Lexington of this world that are, that buy very large portfolio. But the market has been evolving really massively over the last couple of years. It's specialized. Of course, so you have two different parts of the market. Some people and some firms are really specialized to buy some portfolios that are very diversified, what we call LP interest. You buy some portfolio of 5 to 100 funds in portfolio. And some we have seen really the emergence in the last 5 years of what we call the GP-led, where you It's more at the initiative of the private equity fund, which own some companies that they want to continue to have in portfolio for a couple of years. So they organize, using the secondary market to make a price, they organize a process of continuation to keep being the shareholder of this company. And today, this segment is 30 or 40% of the market. So we have really seen this emergence of GP-led as one of the key trends in the private market, as an additional exit route, in addition to selling to a PE fund, to doing an IPO, or to sell to a corporate. So yeah, very, very interesting and maturing fund. We also see some specialists, some sort of specific market in Asia, in Nordic markets. Some secondary shop are really being specialized on some more niche strategies.
How comes it has become so strategic for investors when for quite so long it was mainly a tactical recourse?
You know, today, as I said, for us, to build up a private market portfolio, I believe is really strategic to get an exposure to the secondary market, in particular when you start a private market portfolio. For us, it's 20-30% of a private market allocation, which is being exposed to the secondary market, and we see all types of investors really now being active on the secondary market.
Nicolas, thank you. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Merci.
Thank you very much.
Merci.